BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
And hello and welcome to Open, the one and only show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I'm your host, Daren Jaime, and today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our community, as well as also around the world. Coming up on today's show, we'll find out about an upcoming event that will help to get you fit, as well as explore our borough of parks. Then our financial expert, Jordan Goodman, will join us right here in studio to keep you up to date on the possible government shutdown and the state of the nation's economy. After that, we'll find out about a graduate program that's actually working to help the Bronx community. A little later on, we'll also find out about an event that's designed to learn about real estate opportunities right here in the borough of the Bronx. So we encourage you to stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way, because right now, we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I'm your host, Daren Jaime, and you're watching Open. Today is Wednesday, October 16th, 2013. We are the only live and interactive program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. We want to encourage you to stay connected to us, and you can find out more about us on Twitter at BronxNet TV and also Facebook at BronxNet Television. With the government shutdown going on over 2 weeks and a potential default on the national debt, how can you brace for impact? Our first guest joins us now to break down how you can prepare for your financial future and to keep you up to date on all the latest financial news. We welcome to our set America's Money and Answers man, author of Master Your Debt, Jordan Goodman, to the show.
Great to be with you, Darren. You bet.
Good. We're down to the wire here when we're talking about first of all, the government shutdown, debt ceiling coming down to the wire. Mm-hmm. If there is no compromise met, what does this actually mean for America?
Okay, what it means tonight is if there's no compromise, that we are not able to borrow any more money, and we're going to start not being able to pay our bills at the national level quite soon. Mm-hmm. So that means Social Security checks would not go out. About 80 million people would not get Social Security checks. Medicare would not be paying doctors and hospitals. The interest would not be paid in the national debt. The troops would not be paid. Federal government workers would not. I mean, it's like they do not have enough money, literally, to pay their bills. This would be disastrous.
So where do things stand as of right now? Because we hear like there's just talks, but are we going to see something before tonight?
We hope so. Last I checked, the stock market's actually up. They're certainly anticipating there's going to be a deal. But right now, the Senate is trying to figure out what to propose that the House would go along with. This happened yesterday, and the House ultimately could not get its caucus together to have a vote on it. So they did not agree on anything. The Senate's going to come up with something else. Basically, what President Obama wants is a clean, so-called continuing resolution saying just keep things going, reopen the government and raising the national debt ceiling till about mid-February, something like that, so we'd get over this crisis. Every time they propose that, the Republicans come back and say, we'll do that, plus let's do this, and they keep changing what they want. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats say we're not going to go for that, and then we're back to square one. So tonight's the night. Let's hope we get a settlement on this thing, because if not, it really could be very, very troubling to the financial markets.
So if the debt ceiling hits and we hit the debt ceiling, when actually do you think the average person would actually start to feel the implications of this?
Tomorrow. I mean it, right away. You're going to see the stock market plummet. You'll see interest rates go up. People will really get worried. I mean, it's going to hit right away. It's really that bad because they've been playing games for a long time. Officially, the debt ceiling is $16.7 trillion. We hit back in May. They've been playing games from May to now mid-October. So they've run out of possible games they can play to kind of keep the game going. So it would hit right away. You've already seen short-term Treasury bill yields spike dramatically. They were like 0.4%, they're almost nothing, and now they're up to like 0.7%. I mean, they've gone up dramatically in the last, out of the fear of a potential default. So it would hit right away.
Is there going to be a reprieve for Americans if we do hit the ceiling and you find that Americans are not able to pay their bills, or we're not able to meet some of the things because of a check coming in? Is it possible that the government will offer some sort of a reprieve?
Well, the government's the one that needs the bailout, so I'm not sure the government can give any reprieve right now. I mean, if people aren't getting their Social Security checks, they're not going to be able to pay their bills. If the federal workers don't get their paychecks, they're not going to be able to pay. The military. If we don't pay interest on the national debt, it's hard to float bonds, right? So we have never been in this situation in our history. We've been a country for 225 years. We've always paid our bills. So this would be an absolutely unprecedented event tonight. We don't really know what's going to happen, if we actually do default on our debt. Let's
talk a little bit about our own personal situations, because most people are very worried about how it affects me. We know the grand picture. We know that it affects people. Right. But when you talk about credit card debt, and you talk about that, what are some of the things that we can do, debt ceiling or not, to deal with our credit card debt?
If the debt ceiling happens, interest rates on credit cards would go up. So you really want to get your credit card debt under control if you possibly can. So here are some specific things you can do. And you know me, I always like to give websites and practical things to help people. First thing, monitor what's going on with your credit report. A lot of people don't have a clue, and there's all kinds of errors on there. They want to stay on top of it. A website to do that would be guardmycredit.com. You go on there, you can see your credit score, your report, make sure it's accurate. If there's errors, you want to challenge those things. Second thing is get better credit cards. You don't have to be putting up with 22 or 29% of some ridiculously high rates. A free website to do that would be creditcardperks, PERKS.com. There's lots of great deals. You just got to go get them. Don't just wait for whatever shows up in the mail for you. And a third thing you can do, if you have a lot of credit card debt at a very high interest rate, like 22, 25%, go to a non-profit credit counseling place. They will get you in a situation where you get all your debts into one payment at a lower rate, typically 6, 7%, something like that. You pay them, and they pay the creditors and get out of debt in 2, 3, 4 years, something like that. My favorite national place is called Cambridge Credit Counseling. Their website, cambridgecredit.org. Their phone number, 800-897-2200. They've helped a lot of people. They work in the whole New York State area, and they can get you rates you can't possibly get. You can scream at the bank all day, but you're not going to get 22 down to 6 or something like that, but they can help you.
Wow. When you look at the situation of credit card debt, you've got that. You've got homeowners, though, who really are up against the wall right now. Right. 2 mortgages are there. How can we work on our mortgage debt? How can we possibly liquidate that at a much faster pace?
Okay, you can definitely do that. Now, with mortgages, mortgage rates have gone up a little bit in the last few months, but if this debt default happens, they could go up a lot. So you really want to lock in as low as you possibly can right now. You can get about 4.5%, something like that, on a 30-year fixed, but 3% thereabout on a 15-year fixed. So the rates are still historically relatively low. If you've got an existing mortgage of, I'd say, 5% or higher, you want to refinance down to those rates. A website to help you there would be youcanrefi.com, youcanrefi.com, and you can refinance all those down. Now, as you just mentioned, there is a strategy that allows you to pay your mortgage off much faster than you normally would think possible, which is called the mortgage optimization strategy. You use what's called a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, where you keep your money in that HELOC. Every day you're making progress in the principal, and you can literally pay off your 30-year mortgage in about 5 or 6 years on the same level of income you've got today. It's amazing. Most people don't know this exists.
Wow.
I've got a chapter on this in my Master Your Debt book, actually. There's a free website that'll help you do that, which is called truthinequity.com, truthinequity.com. And at that site, they have what's called a personal profile, and you put in all the numbers that apply to your situation. Value of your house, your mortgage, your income, your expenses. And they'll say, what you're doing today, it's going to take you 28 more years to pay off your mortgage. Using this technique I just mentioned, you can pay it off in 6.2 years or however it comes out and actually pay off your mortgage much, much faster. This is not something the banks are going to tell you about. Okay? Banks would love you to pay for 30 years.
Right.
But using this HELOC, you can pay it off much quicker. So again, truthinequity.com. That's something that can really empower people to get their mortgage paid off much faster than they thought possible.
Yeah, because why is it, I guess, that we hear these things and, I guess banks just simply don't want us to know because of course the banks make the money.
Absolutely. See, with a traditional mortgage, the interest is up front. So for a 30-year mortgage, the first 10 to 15 years, it's almost all interest. So if you refinance your mortgage, you start the clock all over again. That's why the banks like you to do it. Right? So they're not going to tell you about something that paid off in 5 years. They want to get that interest all up front and then refinance and start the clock all over again.
Let me talk about one area that a lot of people are paying particular attention to, and deals with us right here, students.
Absolutely.
Student loan debt.
The biggest, fastest growing debt out there right now. Now, there was a legislation over the summer that changed the way the student loan rates are set a little bit. They're a little bit higher than they were. They were 3.4%. Now they're about 3.8%, a little bit higher. For the plus loans, the student loans for taken out by parents, those are 6.4%. So those are a little bit higher than they had been before. The average person's graduating with about $27,000 in student loans. And if you go to medical school or law school, $100,000 plus, way more than that. So the first thing you can do is get the best student loans possible through the Department of Education. Then if you have an existing block of student loans, consolidate them into one at that low rate. Lowest rate you can get, like 3.8%, something like that. A website that can help you do that is consolidatecollege.com. They can help you consolidate all these different student loans at different interest rates into one at a lower rate. If you can possibly do it, save before you get to college, because every dollar you save up front is when you're not going to have to borrow. Mm-hmm. People are getting to college and not having saved very much, and that's why they have to take on these huge student loan debts.
For somebody who's watching, what would be an ideal number if you're trying to save and you're looking there and you say, listen, I want to prepare for my child going to college. What would be an ideal number to try to have as a nest in the bank?
Well, I mean, if you could put maybe 10% of salary aside, that would be good. And you could do, like New York has called the New York Saves Program, which is a 529 plan. The money goes in there tax-free. As long as you use it for college, it grows completely tax-free. So that's a good thing. NewYorkSaves.org is the website for that, where you can find out about it. And they got a bunch of different mutual funds. So that's a good place. You don't want to just put your money in a CD or money market fund and not have it grow at all.
Right.
You want to have it grow in something. And the younger the kid is, the more aggressive you can be with that money, because in the long run, that's where it's going to grow. Most people just aren't saving close to enough. I mean, it's staggering. Can you imagine for a newborn today what the tuition would be in 18 years? I don't even want to think about it. It might be like 100,000 or some crazy number. So
right.
You're not going to probably save the entire amount. But every dollar you can save is one you don't have to borrow when you get there.
But the best idea is if you could save about 10% of your income.
That would be good, because then you're going to have a good amount saved at that time, and that means you have to borrow that much less. Remember, when you take on student loans, those are 30-year loans. Okay, it's not like a 5-year loan. So it really is hanging over people. People are paying off their student loans in their 50s these days. Didn't used to be that way at all. So it's a big burden.
Share a word, if you will, with those people who might be watching. We used to see this happen a lot of times on college campuses. You would see credit card representatives, and they would be right there at the gate.
That's right.
Application there, right, in hand. Would you give a little bit of advice to people about that? Because that's an easy way to get caught.
Oh, yes. Now, the laws did change. Back in 2009, there was the credit card law, which said that you cannot give a credit card to anybody under age 21 unless they show independent proof of income, they've got a job on their own, or their parent co-signs with them. So if you go to the football game, they have the credit card, you have to have your parents with them to co-sign, because otherwise you won't be able to get a card. Because you're right, a lot of students were getting into real trouble building up huge amounts of credit card debt with no income whatsoever. By the time they got out of college, they'd already ruined their credit rating. Right. So that was not a good thing. So it is a little bit harder to get credit these days, which is probably a good thing. If you can, maybe have your parent co-sign, then use it responsibly. Pay your bills on time and come out of college with a good credit record instead of having it be ruined. Otherwise, you might have to just wait and use a debit card or something until when you get out of college and you have a job, then you can get a credit card.
For people who are cringing right now saying, listen, my credit score is not where it really should be, what's the process in terms of restoring your credit? How long can that take to get those numbers back up there? Your
credit score goes up slowly and down quickly. Okay, and as you make a mistake and it goes down quickly, it takes a while to recover your credit score. It's a whole history that you have. Now, if there are errors on your credit report, you can actually get those errors off. There's a law called the Fair and Accurate Credit Transactions Act, the FACTA law, which says if there's an error in that credit report, you can get it off within 30 days as long as you can prove it's not accurate. There's a website to help people there too, creditanswersnow.com, that can help you challenge those things and get them off. But credit reporting is a long-term situation. It's not something you just flip a switch and your score goes up instantly. It's your behavior over a long period of time. The most important one, pay your bills on time.
That's the most important one.
You bet.
Tell people. George, tell people about the book and where they can get a copy.
Sure. My book is called Master Your Debt, and it covers all these things and many other topics as well. There is a website related to it, master-yourdebt.com. And I've got a website as well, moneyanswers.com. Love to take emails and glad to help people with all their financial questions.
All right, George, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Daren. Appreciate it.
All righty. Well, stay with us because we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to find out how BronxNet stays fit and celebrates the trails. We'll be right back right after this.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first. They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
If you could sit with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite. Unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time.
One book can be the funniest little thing. Helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything...
It is I, Grooves Zinkerbell. Okay, time for cake.
It's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all working with United Way for a million little reasons. The kids of our communities. To ensure their academic success all the way to graduation day. You see, it takes about 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a kid becoming one or the other could be a professional athlete, or it could be you. Studies showed the earlier we get to kids, the better their chances. So become a United Way volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, and make a difference in the life of a child, for the life of that child.
Give. Advocate.
Volunteer. Live United. Join your favorite NFL players. Take the pledge. Go to unitedway.org.
BronxNet and the world-famous cross-country trail have a reason to celebrate, and here to tell us why and how they're staying fit while doing it is the president of the Cortland Park Conservancy and BronxNet Executive Director Max Knobbe, as well as Margot Perron. And we're glad to have you both sharing with us. And yes, exciting time because we're running for a cause.
This is a park that we love, and these trails are very significant in terms of the cross-country tradition. It's running, it's scholar athletes, it's enjoying the urban wilderness and our urban wildlife. It's sort of a Zen thing. Well, they need maintenance. They get impacted by storms. And the Cortland Conservancy has been doing a great job of making sure that we understand the importance of preserving and protecting and sustaining these trails.
We started raising funds for the trails, hadn't been done before. Thousands and thousands of people a year use the trails, and nobody said, gee, could you help us? So last year we started asking the runners, could you help us take care of the trail? And now we've got 2 trail maintainers just for the race season helping out. And what happens is runners run by and they say, thank you so much for helping us. Because every time it rains, it's a very hilly topography. Every time it rains, the erosion just breaks down the trail and breaks down the trail. And if you don't fix it, it won't be there.
So this is the first time ever really we've got people to assist and help in that kind of capacity?
Yeah. So we're preserving it because the trail is now 100 years old. And this is an opportunity for us to make people aware of the trail. And it's interesting because the people who compete here, they call this the Mecca of cross country. But the people who live here, they just know this as a terrific community resource.
And it's amazing because a lot of people do flow through that cross-country trail. And I was sharing in between the break how I did even in high school go through that trail. And it's pretty woody and it's pretty, it's pretty exciting. And at the same time, it's pretty challenging.
Very.
All in the same. So on October 27th, there's going to be a very special event. And we want you to know all about it. And so let us know. This is the 5K.
It's the BronxNet Fitness 5K XC 100. XC, of course, stands for cross country. For those of you that ran cross country, for those of you celebrate the sport, we are going to be also partnering with the City University of New York Athletic Conference, and they're going to have the CUNYAC Championships just before, and they're officiating the BronxNet Fitness 5K 100 XC right after at 11:30, which you are welcome to participate in. Run, walk, get involved. If you want to find out about how to run and how to stretch and how to prepare and how to enjoy this beautiful park in our borough of parks, you can also look at another partner that we're working with, the Van Cortlandt Track Club, because they'll have athletes out there to give best practices about running and preparing for running and stretches. There's a whole kind of knowledge that can be shared as the community gathers in Van Cortlandt Park and to celebrate 100 years of the Van Cortlandt Park Trails, where really it is considered one of the top cross-country trails in the nation and the world. The World Cross Country Championships happen there, and the National Cross Country Championships happen there, as well as all of the schools competing, collegiate and high school.
We've got this beautiful history right up under our nose, and unfortunately, many people still don't know all about the trail. What are some of the hidden gems that you can let us know about this trail?
Well, it's a lot of history here, because when the Van Cortlandts gave this park over to the Public Parks Department, there's a cemetery on the hill. So there's flat lands, and a mile and a half of flat area for easy running. Then there's a small hill, which is Cemetery Hill. That's for a little bit of a challenge. And then the big one is the back hills, which is not straight up, but
right.
It's really hard. And then coming down, your knees really take a pounding, but it's not on pavement. So that's what the runners like.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to be intimidated by this. There's a lot of scholar runners here. There's serious runners, hot competition going on. But at the same time, we want the general Joe to be able to come out there and be healthy. So this is Halloween weekend. So we want people to come out in costume and be goofy and just have fun being healthy. You can walk, like Michael said, or run. It is timed, so you can still be challenging yourself. And those who challenge against other people will get a special prize, so as well as the best costume, too.
So we encourage people to come out on the 27th. The race starts at 11:30, and as you said, you've got a variety of people who are actually taking part from the Van Cortlandt Club to, just CUNYAC, and so it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, see these elite scholar athletes compete, and then join the community in support of our trails, in support of our beautiful Van Cortlandt Park. And also, pick up some running tips. It can be ballistic when you run on concrete and pavement, but when you run on the trails, I always run on the trails. I'm a runner. I've been running in Van Cortlandt Park since my father first took me out there when I was 5 years old, and I ran cross country there. And one of the brightest memories I have was winning the CUNYAC cross country championships back in the day. So it's the stories there that athletes have. If you have been an alumnus that has participated in races in the trails, come and tell your story, because the BronxNet cameras will be there. We're going to be documenting this. We've been documenting the erosion because the trails were hit hard by storms like Sandy. And if you look, it was very sad. As I was running, I brought my camera, and I took all sorts of pictures of these venerable trees that were felled by the storms. And the volunteers, the Van Cortlandt Park Conservancy, Friends of Van Cortlandt Park, came out and really did a tremendous job to restore the trails and do preventive maintenance. But that needs to be continuous. As a cross-country runner, I can tell you, I've run on courses that are less hilly than Van Cortlandt Park. And these trails during, cross-country is all weather, all season. So if there's a rainstorm and they're muddy, I remember one race at another location, another trail, and there were mudslides, there were sinkholes, and some runners approached it with great trepidation. I, of course, enjoyed it tremendously, but the fact is there was tremendous damage to that trail from that storm, and it impacted the race. But so it's about the environment and sustaining and preserving the environment, as well as this opportunity for health, fitness, and sort of a Zen-like appreciation of our beautiful parks.
Now that we got some assistance to try to help with the trails, to keep the trails maintained, what are the future plans going forward?
Well, there's things that need to be renovated. So we have to renovate not just maintaining the trails, but rebuilding them. Some of the water bars that are in there, we need to pull them out, reset them. The finish line needs a lot of care too. That means putting in new, what are those stones? The field stone. So the stonework has to be redone. It's been 100 years, so we got a lot to redo.
So final words on date, time, and give that final encouragement.
So if you want to register, you can go to which website is that, Mark?
vcpark.org.
You could also
Right
go
at the top.
BronxNet.tv, and you'll see a link to the race information and to the Van Cortland Park Conservancy website. And you will be able to really get there early. And make sure you're registered in advance, but you know what? We'll have some registration on site until maybe 11 o'clock, is it? You know, and you'll find out about a great way of staying in shape. You'll find out health and fitness information. Grandmaster Melly Mel is set to be there, who's doing a fitness show on BronxNet, Grandmaster Fitness. Baron Ambrosia, the culinary ambassador for the Bronx, has said he is going to run his first 5K in his life. You know, he's been getting in shape, swimming and eating right for this, and he, you know, hopefully won't be too sore because November 2nd, we're premiering the first feature-length Bronx flavor at the Andrew Friedman home. But this race is a great opportunity to find out more, to get involved in your community, and to appreciate our urban wilderness, our urban wildlife, and our borough parks. Thank you. Are you going to run it, Daren?
I can't do it. I'll be there in spirit. I'll support. I've
We'll
ran.
take your spirit.
Take my spirit, okay? Okay, because I can do that.
There'll also be some maybe Afro-Caribbean rhythms out there, some drummers and percussionists along the trails to inspire you as you run and sort of channel that natural energy.
So to keep me going.
Exactly.
I still can't make it. I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for coming and sharing with us. Best wishes on the 27th. And definitely let us do our best to keep up this trail that's been around for 100 years.
And we have a T-shirt for you. It's been designed by a Lehman College artist.
Oh, okay.
A BronxNet intern, a young artist training at BronxNet, Brandon Denmark, a very talented animator and illustrator, did this artwork for this race, the Run for the Trail, the BronxNet Fitness 5K 100XC, coming to you October 27th, 11:30 a.m. Let's be there in our park in support of the Van Cortland Park cross-country trails.
You're really amped about this, aren't you?
Oh my God, I love these trails.
I can feel it.
I love the whole thing, the convergence of scholar athletics and health, fitness, and our urban environment.
Right.
People should bring friends and family. We have group discounts too, so mention that when you register.
Lloyd's Carrot Cake is right there, the best carrot cake in the nation. It's right there on the periphery of the park, and they are participating. Some of the prizes will be from Lloyd's Carrot Cake.
All righty. Well, we're out of time for the segment. Thank you both for coming and sharing with us. Got to take a quick break, but when we return, guess what? We're going to find out about a Bronx program that is staying Bronx strong. I'll be right back when we return.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
This was me. And Mom and Dad. And my big brother Alex. And Jack. And this was the day that I learned that sandals get their name from sand. That jellyfish aren't made of jelly. That stars don't just come from the sky. That the ocean is bigger than all of us. This is the day we all got to forget that I was sick. And it changed everything. This was my wish.
So, I got this new family. And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
This is Bobby C. out at the Barclays Center, and you won't want to miss Friday's Open and Open Sports. We get a chance to catch up with the new look Nets, new head coach Jason Kidd, and superstars Paul Pierce. All that and more coming up on Friday's Open, 10 a.m. Stay tuned.
Well, welcome back to Open. Daren Jaime here with you. Thanks to Bobby C., the physician assistant program at Mercy College, has joined a number of activities to help the Bronx community. Here to tell us more about the PA program is program director Lorraine Cashin, and as well as Lauren Kapkanoff, physician's assistant. And we welcome you both to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you. So,
nice to be here.
First, let's talk about this health expo. We got a little health expo happening.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
All right. So we have a health expo on November 2nd. It's going to be held in the Bronx, in the community. And the main target of the health expo is to help the community learn about the health careers that we offer at Mercy College. We offer many different health professions as well as health sciences. And our main focus is to promote education within the Bronx community, to allow community members to look from the inside out, to see what the community needs, and to allow the Bronx is one of the youngest communities, and to allow them to see not only for the first time education, but for many people who will be bringing their young teenagers, high school, middle school age children in, to see that for them, as a single household mother, that they could go back for a second career, and it would be possible. You can go to school on the weekends, you can go to school part-time, and it's achievable at Mercy College. So we're really promoting all of the PA, PT, physician assistant, physical therapy, occupational therapy.
Lauren here is a physician's assistant, and we are glad to have her here with us sharing. And she's not the only one here. We've got a bunch of people with white jackets on.
Yes,
I'm a little intimidated right here. We're going to picture them in a few minutes. But give us a little bit about what it is to be a PA and what exactly a PA does.
What exactly a PA does? A lot of people actually aren't aware of what we do, at least in the Bronx, especially at places like Montefiore. Chances are you're going to be taken care of by a PA. We're mid-level practitioners. We do have training after regular undergrad, so it's sometimes bachelor's program, sometimes master's program. We work in conjunction with attending physicians as primary care providers for patients, diagnosing them, examining them, treating them, medicating them. We do it all.
Do it all, huh? And so when you talk about this program, how intense is it?
Very intense. That you could definitely.
I hear a whole lot. I hear a whole lot over there. I just got the crowd. Yeah. Okay.
We say it's rigorous, and we tell the students it's rigorous, and then the students tell us
it's rigorous.
As our students over there are in their didactic year, and they tell us it's so much more rigorous than you told us. So it's a very rigorous program.
And so we encourage you, if you want to find out about a rigorous program, get involved and go ahead and do it. We heard a lot of oohs and ahs when you talk about that. So exactly, PAs can assist with exactly medicine and performing and things of that nature?
Not so much assist, it's more do.
Okay.
The title is kind of misleading. It actually used to be called a physician associate, and they're pushing to get it called that again, because we're not actually assisting, we're more working as a team with attending physicians and nurses and taking care of patients and primary care providers.
A PA can work autonomously, always under the supervision of a physician. It can be by pager, it can be by in another building, it can be in the same room.
As long as they're a phone call away.
That's it. Well, October 20th is a very special day.
Yes.
You want to tell me a little bit more about it? You want to tell the audience a little bit more about it?
It's the American Cancer Society Breast Cancer Walk at Orchard Beach. It starts at 8 a.m. The students and I have been working really hard to raise money for the walk. There's about 20 people on our team. They had a bake sale yesterday. In total, they've raised probably over $500 at this point. And they're working very hard to get involved in the community.
They are, and a shout out to Kim McKenzie, who's leading it. Who's in our audience. But the students together collaboratively have worked extremely hard to make it work and are doing extraordinary efforts.
So we want to tell people it's going to take place at Orchard Beach, and the walk begins at, if I'm correct, registration starts at 8, and the walk begins at 10. And this is also another 5K walk. And so we got a whole lot of things to do to keep, to keep people healthy. There's no reason that somebody should not be physically fit in terms of that. So are we finding more and more people becoming engaged and wanting to become physicians, assistants, soon to be associates, if you will?
Hopefully.
Well, we are, and especially, as you've touched on briefly, we're moving into a different era with insurance, and we're moving into with the affordable health care with primary care. And where we move into primary care, we are moving into primary PAs were originally created to bridge a gap where there was less healthcare providers, and PAs were created to bridge that gap. And in the Bronx, we are losing healthcare providers. So PAs are so specific to the Bronx, where PAs are moving in to bridge that gap, as well as just moving into fill a huge number of unfilled spots.
We hear a lot of people say, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. When I grow up, I want to be a nurse. But never really the PA. So when did the PA career really hit you?
I was actually in undergrad. I was a freshman, and I was originally thinking, like, I want to be in medicine. I don't know if I want to go to med school. It's so long. It's so expensive. And I feel like I also didn't. What the beauty of being a PA is we don't have to specialize. Attendings have to specialize. You have to pick a certain field that you want to be in. We can work in surgery and work in the emergency room and help deliver babies and, do everything kind of all at once. And I think it's good. Keeps us well-rounded.
That's right. That's right. So how many do you have in the program right now?
Right now we have 65 first years and 62 second years. So we have about 100 and whatever that makes.
Yeah.
127.
Yeah, 65 and 65?
65 and 62.
65 and 62? Do the math.
27, yeah.
That's 127.
Yeah, see, I'm
See?
on there.
I did my math today. So, I've been to school. So for somebody who wants
Do you want to come back?
No, not too rigorous, too rigorous. For somebody who has an interest, what advice do you give them? If they have an interest, they say, listen, this sounds like a career that's, what kind of advice do you give them?
I would definitely say obtain information, know what kind of classes you need to get in, your core classes, bio, chem, stuff like that. Try to get your foot in the door with some kind of medicine, maybe be a medical assistant, an EMT. Make sure that it's something you actually are serious about, that you're okay in the same aspect with your grades as you are with interacting with patients, and how to do so appropriately, and just really obtain information. There are a lot of programs out there that people don't really know about because they're so selective that you kind of have to go out of your way to find out the info, and everyone's always there to answer questions.
So what I'll tell you, okay.
I'm sorry, the first thing I would say also is to shadow. To shadow, go in and get a position, volunteer, shadow, and see if it's something you really like.
Right.
Some people say that that's what they want to do, and the first time they see blood or the first time that they really see, and they pass out or they feel lightheaded and they say, oh, wow.
Kind of like that old show, Quincy.
Yeah, this is just not what I want to do. So along with what Lauren said, I would definitely
take the time and shadow.
Yeah, I would take the time. I would take the time and ask my own physician, like, could I shadow in your office, my own PA, that maybe you have a PA at your doctor's office that, say, can I take some time and shadow with you and see if it's something that you really want to do.
Now, when is enrollment usually in regards to this program? When can people enroll?
We have enrollment. Our class starts in June, so we start our interviews in November, but it's something called CASPA, which is a centralized application system. It kind of goes all year long. You have a lot of different documents that you have to produce for it, so it kind of goes all year long, but we stop. It closes November 1st.
So really right now, people still have time. They're watching right now and they want to get in. Possibly they have time to even start to get into the process.
Right now I think CASPA has already closed. Okay. And we're starting our interview process November 4th.
Wow. So that means you missed it. You got to get in on the next go-around. But there are a couple of things that you can take advantage of. Once again, October the 20th, that is going to be the 5K.
Yes.
And so let's give them the information one more time.
Orchard Beach, 8 o'clock, registration, and then 10 o'clock for the run.
And then we've got the Health Expo, too. We want to make sure that you get that information. But there you see it on the screen right there. Making strides against a breast cancer walk. And that's Orchard Beach.
Yes.
5K, October 20th, 10 a.m. Be there, be square.
Be there,
and
be
then
square.
And then the big Health Expo.
You're going to be there.
I'm gonna try
November
to. I can't do the 20th. I feel bad now because everybody's asked me, can I be there? I can't be at anything so far, but I think I can make the Health Expo.
Yeah, you need to. There's lots of activities for the kids. There's lots of things going on. You got to be there.
Okay, so hold me to the Health Expo. How about
I'm
that?
gonna hold you to the Health Expo.
Okay, then I can come out.
And you can see all my students. You can meet them all there.
Well, they're already here, and I have a feeling that they'll hold me accountable for it.
They will. They're going to remember you.
They're going to remember me. If not, I'm going to get a hate mail. Now, there's a special shout out to. Go back, show the picture. We know that's real too quick. We want to show all the physicians assistants who are actually here. They're part of the program, and they're actually here with us in studio. Yes, they took time away from their rigorous studies to be with us here, and we want to give them a very special BronxNet shout out. For them, family is sharing with us as well.
They have an exam today.
Really?
Yes.
They're going to be tested on this show. They're going to remember everything that happened on this show. Thank you so much for coming and sharing. And best wishes on the 20th, and best wishes with the program. And you guys continue to make strides. You're doing some great work.
Thank you so much.
All righty. We want you to stay with us. But guess what? We are going to have to take a quick break. But coming up afterwards, we're going to find out about real estate opportunities in the Bronx. Guess what? The government may be shut down, but real estate opportunities, they might be open. Stay with us. Coming right back.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite. Unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book can be the first that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
I don't know what's happening. Start a new chat. What did I do? Okay. Wow. That is so weird.
Hey! Hi!
Oh my gosh. Hi! God, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so nervous. Gia, you're so big. Come closer to the camera. Wait, now you're in my face. That was so good.
Now, did you see all those activities that you have fun that you could participate in? I mean, obviously, there's a whole lot to do right here in the borough of the Bronx. So we encourage you. You can get fit, You can be a part of a program that's actually doing some positive things and, just take advantage. So if you say that there's nothing to do in the borough of the Bronx, we just gave you a bunch of stuff to do. So get involved and do something. So you're back here on Open. Daren Jaime here with you. And we're switching gears a little bit. The Bronx Real Estate Summit is designed to gather Bronx professionals that discuss, debate, and learn about real estate opportunities and challenges unique to the borough of the Bronx. Here to tell us more about the summit is Managing Director of POCO Partners, Andrea Kretschmer, and she is here with us, and good to have you.
Thank you, Daren. Good to be here.
It's good to be having you here with us. And so as we're talking about this real estate thing, we're talking about the government shutdown. You heard one of the segments. So the question is, first of all, is the real estate market really something that people should be involved in nowadays? And your answer obviously would be?
My answer would be a qualified yes. So interestingly, actually, I come from the world of affordable housing development, and we rely heavily on government subsidies for the development of our projects where we're housing low and middle income families. I work a lot in the Bronx and other boroughs in the city, and of course, we're working very closely with the city, the state, and the federal government to keep those programs going. Projects in construction, projects that are leasing up, and residents are moving in, so we're pushing forward.
So right now, we're having the opportunity for people to come together and really talk about the real estate market. Give us a little bit of a background here.
So what we're doing on October 23rd, it's called the Bronx Real Estate Summit. It's on a Wednesday morning, and it is twofold purpose. We're doing a networking breakfast, and that starts at about 8:15, and then at about 9 o'clock we're doing presentations. So this session is focusing on educational institutions in the Bronx and how they impact on real estate. So we're meeting with community colleges, charter schools, and representatives from the public school sector to talk about projects where they're either buying land or they're redeveloping existing buildings and basically creating new space for educating our borough students.
So when you have the opportunity to come and learn a little bit more about this, let's talk a little bit more in depth. For somebody who's pretty much a novice in real estate, would this be a good opportunity to come in?
Well, we do encourage both professionals in the industry and folks from the community to come. And one of the ways we promote that is that the event, we ask for a suggested contribution of $25 to come, but it's only suggested, so certainly nonprofits and people who are just members of the community should always feel free to come. Cost is never a barrier. And you can absolutely learn a lot about what's going on because we do a guided interview, much like what we're doing here. So we have our speakers talking about projects that are coming up and where they're going to be either building a new school, which might benefit you. Let's say you live in the South Bronx, and high school Health Opportunities High School is right down there. Maybe some of the Mercy College PA students actually went there, and they might be expanding their building or adding facilities to their existing space.
What about development? Because we see a lot of development across the city. Talk to me about the borough of the Bronx. Are we seeing a lot more development now?
Okay, we're seeing a lot more in very concentrated areas. So I'm sure you know Melrose, for example, 2,000 affordable housing units built in Melrose in the last, let's say, 8 or 10 years. One of my favorite neighborhoods is actually the southern Bronx, so south of 149th Street. In the summer of 2009, the mayor upzoned that whole neighborhood, so from 149th Street to 138th Street. And it is one of the densest allowable zonings in New York City, and yet nobody's taking advantage of it. So one of the reasons that we come together like this, one of our featured speakers is Dr. Matos, Dr. Felix Matos Rodriguez, from the president of Hostos College. I'm a huge fan, and they have a master plan to basically expand and improve and enrich their campus for the benefit of their students. So they're leasing space owned by other landlords, and they're building another new health science facility.
Beautiful.
In the South Bronx.
Beautiful. So there are plenty of places that you can look around the Bronx and see.
Plenty of places. And of course, one thing that I love to say, and it's true even all the way up here in the North Bronx, is that transportation is tremendous. I came up on the D train. I walked right past the 4. You can be in Midtown Manhattan in half an hour.
We grew up under the generation before talk about the Bronx burning. We now know the Bronx is booming, and the economic development, the community development that's actually taking place. From your lens, how do you assess the real estate market right here in our borough?
Well, I can tell you that, for example, I work with a lot of brokers, so they're either commercial brokers or residential brokers, and you will see that there are pockets along, for example, Girard and Walton Avenue that run, straight up through the center of the Bronx, where more and more folks are coming from outer boroughs. Now, this may or may not be, some people feel that that's not necessarily a welcome thing. The goal is to increase the flow, right? So that you don't have vacant apartments. You definitely, you don't necessarily want to gentrify. That's not the goal. The goal is to fill up what's here, of course, and then provide improved housing opportunities for people who already live here.
What are some of the biggest challenges right now affecting real estate?
The biggest challenges is that people like the people on the development side who want to buy land or buy existing properties have one sense of what those values are supposed to be, and the people who already own them have another. So there's still a disconnect there, where the people holding the land believe a certain thing, and maybe those of us who want to buy believe something else. But the two parties are coming closer and closer together, and as we talked about in Melrose, there's a lot of development happening. The city just issued a proposal for development at the Hub at 149th Street and 3rd Avenue. It's going to be 1 million square feet of mixed-use development, and several developers are vying to work on that property. And there are going to be community uses, residential uses, commercial uses, civic uses. Tremendous things are happening.
For somebody who's out there saying, I'm not sure about all the opportunities that are available, can you give us a little bit about some more of the opportunities that are available? Maybe people could probably have an opportunity to have without giving away the whole...
Right. Okay. Well, so for example, one of our guests on Wednesday morning is going to be the president of an organization called Civic Builders, and they develop charter schools. And again, there's always going to be people on both sides. Some people are going to say, I don't like charter schools, my children should go to the local public school, and some people say that the local public school is not the best opportunity. Well, what Civic Builders does is provide real estate development for charter schools to bring alternatives for educating the children in the Bronx. So that's another thing that we're going to be talking about on that particular Wednesday morning.
So development is definitely happening in the borough. Obviously, a lot of opportunities are out there for people. We want people to take advantage of the program that's actually coming your way. So once again, let's give them the information.
Okay, so Wednesday morning, October 23rd, we're starting at 8:15. We'll have a networking breakfast. Mike's Deli, Arthur Avenue.
Yes.
David Greco caters our breakfast. It's fantastic. And then at about 9 o'clock in the Hostos College Auditorium, we're going to be having our presentations and our speakers. And again, everybody from the community is welcome. Price is no barrier to entry. We'll get you a name tag. You can network, meet some folks who are running businesses in the neighborhood or educating your kids. And everybody's just going to get together and have a good time.
So make sure you get out there. We're going to put that graphic up one more time so that way you can see exactly the date and the time, so possibly you can come out here and take advantage of it. It's Wednesday, October 25th. And,
October 23rd.
I'm sorry, that's
okay.
The 23rd. It's right, and the bad part is it's right here in my face. I need a doctor right now. Okay, Hostos Community College, Center for the Arts and Culture. It's a concourse, so make sure that you're out there. 8:15 is the breakfast. 9 o'clock is the industry expert discussion. So we got some experts in the industry.
More expert even than me.
That's it. Well, we're looking forward to it, and it's good to know that these opportunities are out there and available. And so if you're into real estate and you want to know about the opportunities that are out there, guess what? There's some things that you need to know. Break down real quickly some myths or some stereotypes in regards to real estate here in the borough.
The myth, I would say, well, the stereotype, of course, is the Bronx is burning.
Right.
That's long since over.
Dead.
And I would say that some people will tell you it's the next Brooklyn. That's not necessarily our goal either, right? We want the Bronx to be the best Bronx that it can be in the way that it's developed, in the way that it's homegrown folks, like again you had from Mercy. You want to raise your kids here. You want to educate them here in the public schools. I got to tell you one quick thing. I was at Lehman the other day on this very campus for the open house at the High School of American Studies, which is a New York City public school that happens to be one that my daughter would like to go to. She's in 8th grade, and we were on the campus at Lehman, and she remembered she'd been here with me before to open and said, I remember we went to that studio. And you can do that. You can bring your kids, you can educate them in the public schools, you can send them to the colleges, and then you can get them really good jobs, and you can do it all right here in the Bronx.
Wonderful commercial for the borough of the Bronx.
I'm loving it.
Andrea Kretschmann,
You know me.
thank you so much for coming to share with us.
Thanks, Daren.
And best wishes on the on your seminar here.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, it is about that time. Yes, it's time for us to wrap. And yes, it's been a pleasure coming into your homes. We want to thank all of our guests for joining us, but most of all, we want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, all you have to do is come on back 10 p.m., catch the Recablecast, Cablevision, Channel 67. You don't have Cablevision? I got Verizon Files. Not a problem. All you got to do, go to Channel 33. Well, if I don't want to do that, I want to check you out on the web. You can do that too. www.bronxnet.org. There you'll be able to see the show in its entirety. We encourage you to have a great week. Don't forget to keep your heart, your mind, and most of all, this channel wide open. Daren Jaime saying take care and God bless.
Spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
This is Bobby C. out at the Barclays Center, and you won't want to miss Friday's Open and Open Sports. We get a chance to catch up with the new look Nets, new head coach Jason Kidd, and superstars Paul Pierce. All that and more coming up on Friday's Open, 10 a.m. Stay tuned.